Nobody wants to adopt the Schluffmuffin twins. Wally's feet stink something awful, and Cheyenne is allergic to everything. Then why are the Mandible sisters so eager to take them home? And what sort of old maids would choose to live in a place called Dripping Fang Forest, where zombies wander the woods singing Itsy Bitsy Spider, and 10-foot-long glowing slugs want to suck the feet right off your ankles? Would it seem ungrateful of Wally to point out the Mandible sisters' extra arms, or to question their all chocolate all the time menu? Or, to venture into the cellar where the twins have been told to never, ever, ever go? Yeah, perhaps that last bit was a mistake. Now there's nothing left for the Schluffmuffins to do but run. Run for their lives. Hi, I'm Nova.
And I'm Rachel,
Welcome to Novel Nostalgia.
where we talk about the books that make us nostalgic.
I didn't realize that summary was so long until I picked it up, and I'm like, wow, that's like...
Yeah. I didn't know this was like a Halloween book because I thought for some reason that I saw Dripping Fang and I assumed it was a wolf book. So imagine my surprise. And I'm like listening to you
Surprise.
talk about it. I'm like, what?
Yep. So these are actually only like 120 pages. So we're actually doing 2 books today. The first 2. There's 8 total. So we're breaking it up over 4 episodes, 2 books per. Because it's like one of those series where a lot happens every book, but it just makes sense to read them all. Then you get all of it. So
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
Love this.
Yes, I got it for... Did I get it for Christmas? Hold on, there's a note in it. Yeah, I got this one for Christmas.
That's adorable.
Which is hilarious because it's very, like, Halloween-y. You know, vampires, zombies, giant ants. But
Big goth kid energy.
it is. It really is. This first one is called The Aunts, but it's like O-N-T. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb your spelling of aunt. God.
O-N-T?
O-N-T, yeah.
Does it mean anything?
That was too good. I think they kind of mention it. Because, like, I think it comes down to, you know, aunt is sometimes pronounced ant, depending on where you are. And they're actually ants. So they prefer to be called the aunts.
That's cute. I like it.
Yeah. So, my brain read the note and was like, no.
Big mood.
Okay. So, Wally and Cheyenne Schluffmuffin. I have to, like, pronounce that. Every time I say that, I'm like, I have to think about it.
It's making me giggle.
It's such a weird name, and, like, the first time I read this book, I was like, how the heck do you pronounce it? Because it's S-H-L-U-F-F and then muffin. I'm like...
I would go with Schluffmuffin. That sounds right.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, what, 9? Yeah. So I was like, Mom, how do you pronounce this word?
Did she just, like, commit to it? Or, like, did she look it up?
I think she looked at it and she was like, I think it's Schluffmuffin. And I was like, okay. So they're 10 years old and they are twins.
Adorable.
And they currently are at Jolly Days Orphanage, who is run by Hortense Jolly. That name also throws me off. Hortense, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, hello. I feel like I'm pronouncing this way wrong for your name, but okay.
It sounds like a
Maybe I am.
slur.
If I am, sorry. Yeah. So Wally is 7 seconds late to breakfast.
Oh.
They have like very strict timeline. Very strict timeline. So he's now on toilet cleaning duty because he was 7 seconds late.
Wait, tell me the names of the twins again. Is this one of the twins?
Yes, Wally and Cheyenne.
Okay.
Cheyenne only sees the good in life. She is like pure optimist. Everything is good. Everything will work out. It's great. It's good. Wally is the exact opposite, only sees the bad. Everything is bad. Everything is tragic. Everything
Everything is
sucks.
awful.
Yeah. So Cheyenne is allergic to pretty much everything.
Mood.
So she's always sneezing and blowing her nose, right? I literally have been having allergic reactions like every day, and I'm like, ugh, no. For Wally, he's not allergic to anything, but his feet stink so bad no matter what he does. Like, he can go in the shower, clean them down, step out, immediately they smell bad again. Like, he just can't. There's no
Sounds like a
solution.
fungus.
Right? So Hortense has a song about how great it is at the orphanage, which they have to sing every morning before they get to eat breakfast.
Oh?
The food, yeah, it's like about like, oh, how like, oh, it's great being at Jolly Days, you know, like it's so great and everything's wonderful and we're treated like basically royalty here. And so they go to eat breakfast and their food is garbage,
Like actual garbage?
basically.
Hmm.
Breakfast is stale bread crusts and tea, but they only get one tea bag a month, each of them.
Oh, so they have to just keep reusing?
Reusing their tea bag for a month. So, like, the first week is, like, you know, pretty okay, but by, like, the end of the month, you've got no tea. It's just water.
Have you ever seen like Extreme Cheapskates?
Yes.
Do you see that guy that like kept reusing his floss?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Same energy.
Yes. Lunch and dinner is a thick soup that looks like mucus.
Oh.
Yeah. Every Saturday, they get a treat, which is a chocolate bar. But this one chocolate bar is split between 38 orphans. So they get like a racer sized
Okay.
piece of chocolate every Saturday. You get a little tiny, tiny piece. You know, it's good.
Interesting.
So obviously they have to get an education because it's a orphanage. You have to give them an education at the orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
So Jolly's version of education is making each child learn every word in the encyclopedia under the letter that they're assigned. Wally had A's and Cheyenne has S's. Wally tries to move to a different letter, but when Jolly asks him like about it, of like, do you know what this is? And he's unable to answer, she's like, you haven't learned them all. Go back and keep learning your A's.
What?
So they're smart in one letter.
Okay.
So then it tells us what things happened for them to get there. When they were 7, the week of October 12th was really bad. On Monday, their dad fell into a porta potty and drowned.
What a way to go. First off,
Right?
like not only are you dying, but also porta potty.
You tripped and fell into a porta potty and died. Tuesday, their mother got mauled by a horde of angry bunnies.
Okay. Have you ever seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
The little white rabbit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I can only picture, but just like a horde of them being like, look, we're so cute
Yeah.
and precious. And then just the mother is gone. And then Thursday, their little old grandmother, who is now taking care of them because both their parents are dead, gets carried away by an eagle.
What?
Yeah, she's so small. She goes out in her garden and an eagle picks her up and flies away.
What?
They just had a bad week that week.
Yeah, okay.
So since then, they've lived at this orphanage. So a boy named Rocco tries to give them nicknames of Stinkfoot and Sniffles, but Wally punched him,
Nice.
so the nickname stopped.
Legendary.
When an orphan gets adopted, the remaining orphans get pennies from it.
What?
Like, because obviously, like, when you adopt a kid, you pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids, as a reward, each get like a penny from the adoption of the other kid.
Absolute insanity.
A family gets a week-long trial to test out the orphans before adopting them. Every single family that's tried to adopt Wally and Cheyenne has brought them back.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. So the Mandible sisters, Hetty and Dagmar, come to the orphanage. They are looking for orphans with serious allergies and stinky feet. Very specific. So Cheyenne blows her nose, and Hetty takes the tissue and shoves it in her purse. She's like, oh, like, let me take care of that for you, sweetie. In her purse.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll make sense, I promise.
Okay.
Still weird, but it'll make sense. So Hortense lies about what they're fed, saying that they only get gourmet meals. And the two sisters are kind of like, debatable. They're kind of thin. But okay, whatever. We're taking them. And so Wally and Cheyenne are both really creeped out, but they're like, well, maybe it's better than the orphanage. Like, this is weird. Getting kind of weird vibes. But at this point, anything could be better than where we're living.
I guess.
So they go out of Cincinnati, because takes place around Cincinnati. And they head out to the Dripping Fang forest. Their taxi driver won't go any further besides, like, the gate to the forest. And he's like, I've heard stories of vines that grab you, 10-foot-long slugs that will suck your feet right off, and man-eating wolves who say rude things.
Same. I'm the man-eating wolf that says rude things. Write that on my tombstone, please.
So that's where Rachel lives. Outside Cincinnati.
Yeah. That I go hard. It's fine.
She lives in Dripping Fang,
Mm-hmm. Very casual.
with the wolf pack, saying rude things to anyone who walks in the forest.
As I should, truly.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
So the mandibles say they live there, and there are no such things in this forest. And the driver's like, yeah, okay. So, as they go to pay the driver, Wally sees that Dagmar has 4 hands. And he's like,
What?
what? Why do you have 4 hands? But he doesn't say anything. So Cheyenne enjoys the forest. The optimist is like, this is great.
Good. At least she likes her home.
Wally hates it and feels that something is watching him. Which he's right. A 10-foot slug is watching him.
Oh, casual.
Yeah. So they see a house surrounded by spider webs.
And that's where they're going, for sure. 100.
Wally says, how? No, this is not where they're going.
Oh.
They're not going to the spider house. Wally says that the most dangerous spider in the country is the Black Widow, and they can live right here in this forest.
How you doing, friend?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, the first time I read this book, it was hard. Because, hold on, there's a picture here. I'm going to show you.
There's a picture?
Show you this.
Ooh.
We'll meet her in a little while. But she's like half Black Widow, half human.
No. No, I don't like that.
Yeah, so I got to that picture and I was like, and we're done. And it took me a while to be able to read it.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
It's not really focused around that, and like, as long as the picture doesn't really come up when you meet her,
Mm-hmm.
it talks about her legs a little bit, but like, she's enough of a person that it kind of like doesn't, you don't think about it. The Mandibles say that they need to get home before dark, and Wally asks why, and they don't give him an answer. They just like ignore the question.
Good.
So Wally notices that there are bars on the windows and panics when they get to the house, the
Same.
Mandibles' house. And the Mandibles say it's to prevent things from getting in, not things getting out, and proceed to say that they don't like uninvited guests. Which, mood.
I'm like, you just adopted these kids. They're not uninvited guests.
No, like the things in the forest.
Oh. Okay, that makes more sense.
Because that's why they have bars on the windows and everything. It's just so nothing can get in.
Mm.
That's what they say.
Okay.
So they tell the kids to call them Aunt Hetty and Aunt Dagmar with the O. O-N-T. Because, aunt is too close to an ant. It's fine.
So are they aunt aunt?
What do you mean?
Because they're aunts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're aunt aunts.
Yep.
Amazing.
We don't know their aunts yet. Not yet, anyway. They don't know their aunts yet. So they say that the kids are pretty much allowed wherever they want in the house. They're just not allowed in their own rooms or the cellar.
Not allowed in the aunts' rooms? The
Yeah.
aunts' rooms? Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I was like, you can't go in your own bedroom? What?
No, like the Hetty and Dagmar's rooms are off limits, and so is the cellar.
Okay. I mean, kids probably shouldn't be in a cellar, so that's fine.
So they said any noises or odors aren't to be questioned.
There's dead
And
bodies in there,
under
aren't there?
and under any circumstances, they are never allowed to tell anyone what happens in the house.
What?
So they give them the treat of banana splits. Like full on like ice cream, nuts, whatever toppings they want. Full banana split.
Love that.
So they get to their own room and each has a large bed, a TV, laptop, and a PlayStation.
They're living my dream.
Right? They like basically got adopted by these rich ass ladies and get to like live out the life. I wouldn't touch the cellar. Hell no, I don't care
No.
about the bodies in the cellar. I'll help you bury them
Whatever.
later.
Literally.
Right?
Whatever.
I'm well
Don't
taken
kill
care of
me.
now.
We're good.
Exactly. Don't kill me. I'll help you.
Yeah.
Nailed it. So at the orphanage, they slept on flat mattresses and used bubble wrap for blankets. So
What?
they're like, yeah. So they're
Okay.
at this point, they're like, this is luxury.
Yeah. Literally.
Cheyenne hopes that they get adopted, and Wally is like, no. No, thank you.
Why? Wally needs to chill out. Things are going great.
Well, he always thinks, of the bad, and he noticed that one of them had 4 hands. There's bars on the
And
window. Clearly,
whatever.
something's going on.
Whatever.
Right. So, their dinner is a Belgian chocolate cake, and dessert is a chocolate fudge sundae.
Okay. Love that. I mean, they're getting no proper nutrition, but also I'll let it slide for the first day.
Right? Like, these kids were eating gruel for months. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, they're chilling.
They're tiny. They are so thin and so small They can put some weight on them before, we eat nutritious.
Yeah, whatever. They're not growing, right? They weren't growing
Yeah,
anyways.
right? Right. The aunts put a vase of ragweed on the table, even though Cheyenne is allergic. And she states that she's allergic, and they're like, oh no, we didn't know.
That's so weird.
Right? So Wally thinks that they're being fattened up for the aunts to eat.
Nah, I think it's fine.
Wally is having to sleep with bags on his feet.
What?
And it's kind of like at first, like, okay, fair, stinky feet. Put bags on them. Okay.
I feel like that'd make it worse.
So Wally ends up listening to the aunts talk about how the babies are going to be pleased.
Babies.
And he's like, what? So one of them thinks they heard someone in the hallway because Wally had crept out into the hallway. So Wally creeps downstairs and goes into the cellar. First night, he's already on the one place he's not supposed to go.
Okay.
He finds 2 machines. One is an odor extractor, and the other is a snot press.
What?
So this is why they were keeping the tissues. They go in the snot press, and it takes the snot out. And the baggies on his feet are to put in the odor thing.
For what purpose? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We're getting there.
Okay.
So there are large egg carton things that are filled with chihuahua-sized cartons that each chihuahua-sized cartons that held a slimy gray creature with no eyes and a quivering mouth. These are the babies.
Okay.
Wally is terrified of what would happen if they knew he was in the cellar. So he runs back upstairs and he peeks into Dagmar's door when he goes by because it's slightly open. And Wally sees a 6-foot-tall ant.
Nice.
She's taken off her human disguise, and she's now an ant.
Nice.
So Wally goes and tells Cheyenne that they have been adopted by giant ants. He tells her about the machines and the larvae down in the cellar. He says they need to get out and fast, but they don't know how because Dripping Fang is outside. And about that time, there's a knock on Cheyenne's door.
Oh.
So Wally ended up tracking water from the cellar, and he tries to lie his way out of it and fails.
What a moron.
Wally asks if they are aliens.
No, they're ants. That was good. I'm proud of that one.
That was good. Dagmar and Hetty are offended, saying that they are tax-paying Americans.
Okay.
Because he asked if they were aliens.
Okay.
Yeah. They vote in elections and have season tickets to the Reds games. They're like, how dare you call us an alien? We live here.
Wait. Reds? Isn't that in... I thought Red Sox were Boston.
No, Red Sox and Reds are different things. Where's my phone? I don't remember what team the Reds are, but...
I mean, it's gotta be Cincinnati.
I mean, yeah, it's baseball. But it's just Reds.
Sport.
They are breeding super ants to enslave humans and take over Earth.
Okay. Nice.
And the larva feeds off of snot and odors. That's why they're, getting that stuff.
Nice.
So they decide that the 2 kids now have to be killed and ground up for the babies to eat.
Go off.
So the kids are locked in separate bedrooms. Wally uses his pocket knife with the screwdriver blade to take the bars off of his window. And then he climbs over to Cheyenne's window, does the same thing, and they escape. So Cheyenne and Wally panic about what's in the forest because now they're in the forest in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And Cheyenne immediately points out a long, fat, glowing thing under the underbrush. It's a giant slug.
Yummy.
It follows the kids, and Cheyenne ends up pouring salt on it, and it slugs off and is like, I'll be back for you guys when I'm not in pain. Right now I'm hurting, but I'll be back. So now the wolves have found them.
Yeah.
After the slug goes away, the wolves have found them. The kids go running. They see a little house and pound on the door. A man in PJs opens the door, and he lets them in.
Mood. Same.
He is Professor Edgar Spidell.
Mm-hmm.
He tells the kids wolves are actually good creatures. The only bad ones are the ones that speak, which is unfortunately all of them in Dripping Fang.
Okay.
The wolves knock and ask to come in and chat, and the professor just turns to the door and is like, it's late, you need to come back another time.
I'm dead.
He's just like, I'm done with these. He offers tea and ginger snaps to the kids, and he says his wife Shirley ends up preparing them. So he's like, I have a wife, Shirley. So the wolves are outside, still trying to get in. They're still trying to get in. They're still convincing the professor, trying to let him be like, open up, like, come on. The kids end up telling the professor about the mandibles, about their giant ants, and they're going to take over the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they say they guess they're going to go back to the orphanage because where else are they going to go? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're still orphans. So Wally calls Hortense about returning to the orphanage, and she's not thrilled. But she's like, okay, I guess, whatever. Not happy about it, though. So Shirley comes out from the kitchen, and she is a large spider-woman hybrid. She's got 8 hairy legs and 8 eyes. And Wally and Cheyenne scream and run. They run outside right into the pack of wolves.
Morons.
The wolves are going to kill them. So Wally begins to growl. And Cheyenne joins him. And he steps toward the wolves. And the wolves are like, bruh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't happen. Usually we chase. Like, why are we being growled at? So Wally gets close enough and he bites one of them on the nose.
Oh?
They're all like, what? And Cheyenne sprays pepper in their face.
Not pepper spray. Pepper?
Yeah, because she had a salt and pepper shaker.
Okay.
So the salt she used on the slug and the pepper she's just like throwing at the wolves.
Heard.
So the wolves just get so discombobulated and afraid that they end up leaving. So the 2 kids regather themselves and head out of the forest.
Amazing.
That's the first one.
Wow. What a wild
That's
ride.
why I was like, I don't think we can do just one of these because, like, it's just wild. And it gets wilder.
I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah. The second one is called Treachery and Betrayal at Jolly Days.
This one sounds like a Christmas one.
It,
Is it
it
a
does a
Christmas one?
little. It does. No.
Oh, okay.
It takes place literally right after that last one.
Amazing.
Like, I think this whole series is like a month. Maybe.
Oh,
It's not very long.
fair enough.
Okay. In our fashion, I will read the summary. And then we can enjoy this one. We'll call it the Christmas year one.
Amazing.
I mean, in a way, maybe.
A little Christmas imagery.
Okay. When we last saw them, the Schluffmuffin twins had just escaped the clutches of the Aunts, 2 horrible giant ants disguised as sweet, maternal ladies. Now they must hitchhike their way out of Dripping Fang Forest. But really, what's the worst that could happen to 2 scrawny orphans thumbing a ride on the creepy, secluded highway? Everything. everything is the answer.
Did the orphanage not send somebody for them?
No.
Okay. All right, sorry. Continue.
Luckily, nothing more unpleasant than a couple of close calls with a morbid, reckless driver named Vern, a rotting zombie in an alligator-infested swamp. When they finally make it back to the Jolly Days orphanage, their welcome isn't quite as jovial as one might expect. Who knew that Hortense Jolly, orphanage director and aspiring Broadway composer, would be capable of such treachery and betrayal as to reveal Wally and Cheyenne's whereabouts to the aunts? Looks like the Schluff Muffins are back on the lam? Yes, on the weird. Okay. But on the bright side, in the midst of all their troubles, Wally
Mm-hmm.
and Cheyenne do learn one of life's most important lessons. When a strange guy asks if you want to see the involved alien brain in his trunk, the answer is always no thank you.
I want to write a kid's book. This is what I'm deciding
Right?
now. I should write a kid's book.
Just make it absolutely chaos.
Yeah, I just want it to be straight insane.
Mm-hmm. That's basically these.
Yeah.
It's too good. They're literally just too good. So this one ends basically right where the other one left off. They get out to the road and they're debating on hitchhiking. Wally and Cheyenne are debating on hitchhiking. And Vern pulls up. And he picks him up and brings him back he's going to bring him back to town.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's talking about how he worked as a janitor at an Air Force base and stole an alien brain.
What?
Yeah, he's now a taxi driver because he stole an alien brain.
Okay. Sure.
Or I don't even think he's a taxi driver. I think he's just a driver. So they agree to dip as soon as possible,
Yeah.
Wally and Cheyenne, because they're like, what? So Vern decides they need to listen to some music. So he puts in the greatest funeral favorites and almost hits an 18-wheeler.
I need a copy of that CD really bad, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone could just, send me that mixtape, that'd be great.
Amazing, amazing. The first light they hit, Wally and Cheyenne jump out and run for it.
Same.
The swamp zombie is in the swamp, sloshing around singing the Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Okay.
And as he's, waddling around, he sees the twins run past. And he's kind of like, oh, okay. And then heads to his cave for the day. He's got a little, cave.
Mood.
But he heads to go hang out. So the twins return to the orphanage, and Hortense asks them not to mention the aunts to anyone else. Wally does, and ends up getting in trouble. But when he gets in trouble, he says he likes the punishment, which makes all the orphans giggle.
Interesting.
Because at this point, he's like, I could live at this orphanage, or I could be getting ready to be slaughtered for super ant baby food. I think I want to live here now.
Fair enough.
He's like, I'm good. I like cleaning the toilets. So Hortense is like, oh god, these are going to be a problem. So the orphans all ask about their journey to Wally and Cheyenne, and Hortense goes and calls the Mandibles about that the kids are there. Okay, so Wally and Cheyenne hear her call the Mandibles and say that they are there. They tell her that the aunts are going to kill them and they must leave. And Hortense says they can hide in a broom closet. She's acting like, oh, I've had a change of heart. You guys hide here. It'll be fine. I'll say that you're gone. So Shirley says that she misses Wally and Cheyenne. This is the spider lady.
Okay.
And so she says she wants kids, but because of her Black Widow part in her, if they reproduce, she's going to end up killing Edgar. So he's like, why don't we adopt kids?
Mm-hmm. Insane. This book is insane. I
This whole
love it.
series is wild. Absolutely wild. So Edgar calls for an appointment with Jolly Days Orphanage, the orphanage that Wally and Cheyenne are at. So Hortense finally was convinced the mandibles are giant ants, and she's worried. She opens the door, and they give her adoption papers and a check for more than what the two kids would be worth, essentially. And so she's like, yep, they're in a broom closet. Come on.
Insane. Okay.
She's all about the money.
Yeah, apparently.
So they open the door, and the Schluff muffins are gone, and Dagmar sees them running away.
Yeah.
She's like, really? So Wally and Cheyenne hop on a bus and ask the driver to drive. They tell him the aunts don't believe in exact change, which makes him mad, and he closes the door on them.
Legendary.
Right? So the kids get off in the swamp, hoping to lose the aunts. They trudge through the swamp to get away, but Wally says that they'll be found eventually. Wally ends up protecting Cheyenne from an alligator, and then Cheyenne and Wally end up hitting quicksand. They kind of like mark it, and they get lured to the mandibles by chocolate. They smell chocolate, and they're like, food.
Oh my god.
So they go to it.
Insane.
The aunts had manufactured the smell of chocolate to get the kids. There's no chocolate, it's just the scent.
Okay. It would have been easier just to have chocolate, but whatever.
So the aunts are interested in the bag that they got from Hortense, because Hortense had given them like some stuff. And Cheyenne says she stole it from them and chucks it into the quicksand.
Amazing.
Yeah. So Dagmar goes in to try and get it because it's apparently something that the kids took from the aunts, and begins sinking into the quicksand. And Hetty goes to help so the children get away.
Nice.
So Cheyenne and Wally hide and hope that Dagmar is gone for good. Like, they're like, please be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Please never come back. Cheyenne says that she thinks Hetty would be okay without Dagmar, that they probably could convince her not to kill him and, like, raise them as kids. And Wally is like, you're insane. No. Hetty has managed to get Dagmar out as the zombie is beginning to stir for the evening. It's getting cool now. He's gonna come out. So the twins have been in the swamp for 4 days at this point.
Okay.
The zombie approaches saying, Shaw wa me da. And the twins are like, zombie! And run.
Yeah. Same.
So Hetty and Dagmar go to the police to file a missing person report on the 2 children and say that the children stole from them.
Okay.
So they're like, we gotta get these kids, they stole. So Shirley stays in the van while Edgar goes inside to Jolly Days. Edgar is introduced to, like, all of the children, basically. And so, obviously, she's staying in the van because, yes, let's bring a big, spider lady into a thing of kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not gonna scare nobody. I don't know.
Right? So Wally and Cheyenne reach a diner. They order food even though they cannot pay, and the owner says that they have to wash dishes, and the kids are like, done, sold. We'll wash your dishes, that's fine. So Wally lies and says that they are 16 when the owner says that he'd hire them if they were. And he's like, you're kind of small and, little, I don't know. And Wally's like, we were starved as kids. We have stunted growth.
How old are they actually?
10.
Amazing. Yep. Totally can sell that.
So the owner is like, sounds cool. Sold. So they get hired and are happy until they see their faces on a milk carton
Mm.
and are like, oh no. So the policemen show up to the diner to eat and see the kids.
Amazing.
And the owner's like, run. So they do. The police catch up to them and say that they can go home with the mandibles or to jail. And both of them are like, jail.
Yeah.
So the police take them to Dripping Fang instead. They're like,
Oh,
damn it.
oh,
We wanted to go to jail.
wild. Imagine police actually, caring.
Right? So the police get stuck in vines. Like as they're walking them, trying to walk them through the forest, the vines come out and get them.
Nice. Perfect. Excellent.
So Edgar ends up getting them away from the police. And the kids don't want to go see Shirley, but Edgar and the looming aunts make them reconsider. They end up liking Shirley and agree to stay for a few days. So like they've
Oh,
been like weird, but let's have a chat and see how it goes. And they're like, we're sold. Let's stay here. So the zombie is watching the Spidell house. A stranger in a trench coat approaches the twins. It's the wolf pack leader, and he bites Cheyenne's clothes.
okay.
The kids scream, which gets the zombie to approach, which scares the wolf, and the wolf runs away.
Okay.
The zombie once again approaches and says Sha Wa Me Da and starts singing Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Okay.
So at this point, they're like, this is our dad.
What?
It's their dad. The zombie is their dad.
Insane. This book is insane.
He's trying to say Cheyenne Wally, it's me dad. The Shaw Wa me dad. And then he used to sing them Itsy Bitsy Spider, so that's the song he's been singing.
Okay.
Yep. So the mandibles have come to strike the kids, only to see the zombie, and they're like, we'll come back another day. It's fine.
Fair enough.
So the kids are excited that their dad is now in front of them. And they're like, but wait, if he's a zombie, we're still orphans.
Yeah.
And that's where the second one ends.
Insane. Absolutely wild. I love it. I can't
Right?
wait to do the next two.
Oh, they just keep getting better and better. Like, they just get so wacky every time.
So good. So good.
Oh, yeah. They're so good. Like, you never know what's going to happen when you turn the page because it's just so wild.
It's like a D&D campaign.
Yeah. I wonder if it's that's how they made the books. We're just going to roll, see what happens. Oh, look here. The zombie's your dad.
They gotta, because this is insane.
Right? Absolutely wild. So wild.
So wild. But I guess we'll see you all in the next episode where we'll continue on with this absolutely insane journey.
Oh, yes. It just keeps getting better.
So make sure to follow us at Novel Nostalgia Pod on pretty much everything, or just go to our website, novelnostalgiapod.com. Or we'll see you in the next episode. Bye!
Bye.